Ravens fan, just imagine Mark Andrews out of Baltimore. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you this possibility isn't that far-fetched? If the Ravens actually decide to move on from number 89, the impact on the team would be massive, and not just on offense. This decision could completely change the course of next season and force Baltimore to act fast to find a worthy replacement. But is there anyone who can truly fill that void? What can the Ravens do to keep Lamar Jackson's offense from taking a hit? Stick with me until the end because I'm going to show you exactly what could happen if Andrews is let go. Go Ravens! If there's one player who has defined the Ravens' offense in recent years, it's Mark Andrews. He's the guy who always comes through in the most important plays, dominates the red zone, and has a unique connection with Lamar Jackson. It's no surprise he became the franchise's all-time leader in touchdown and one of the most respected tight ends in the NFL. But as great as he is, there's one problem: his contract. In 2024, Andrews carries a cap hit of nearly $17 million, putting the Ravens in a tough position. With limited cap space and several roster areas that need reinforcement, releasing Andrews could become a real possibility. The situation gets even more interesting because Baltimore has Isaiah Likely steadily improving each season. Every time he had to step in for Andrews, Likely proved he could be a reliable weapon, which raises a question: do the Ravens already have their next starting tight end on the roster? If the answer is yes, Eric DeCosta might choose to move forward without Andrews, free up salary cap space, and use that money to strengthen other positions. But this wouldn't just be a financial decision. It would also have a direct impact on the offense's performance. Losing a player like Andrews would change the offensive dynamic, especially in critical moments of the game. That's why, if the Ravens truly decide to move on without him, they'll need a solid plan for the tight end position. Likely has talent, but playing as a full-time T1 for an entire season is a completely different challenge. Baltimore would need to add at least one more quality name to ensure the position remains a strength for the team. This could be done in two ways: bringing in an experienced veteran who knows the ins and outs of the NFL, or betting on a young talent in the draft. Regardless of the approach, the goal would be to have a player who can share the workload with Likely and keep the offense running at a high level. Among the available options, one experienced name stands out and could be a valuable addition for the Ravens. Zach Ertz, a veteran tight end with a history of big game performances, might be exactly the kind of player Baltimore needs to stabilize the transition after Andrews. If the Ravens move on from Mark Andrews, relying solely on Isaiah Likely could be risky. As talented as he is, the tight end position requires experience, especially in the playoffs and high-pressure situations. That's where Zach Ertz comes into play. With 12 seasons in the NFL, 3 Pro Bowls, and a Super Bowl ring, Ertz is the type of player who brings stability and intelligence to an offense. He knows how to find the soft spots in the defense, has reliable hands, and could mentor Likely, helping the young tight end develop while still contributing on the field. Even at 35 years old, Ertz proved in 2024 that he can still be productive. Playing for the Commanders, he became one of rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels' most trusted targets, finishing the season with 66 receptions, 654 yards, and 7 touchdowns. These numbers show that he still has gas left in the tank and could be a useful piece in Todd Monken's offensive scheme. With the Ravens shifting toward a more balanced passing attack, an experienced tight end like Ertz could keep the position strong without needing to be the focal point. The big question would be cost effectiveness. Ertz would likely accept a cheaper deal since he's at the tail end of his career and doesn't command the same market value as before. If he's willing to take a secondary role behind Likely, this could be a perfect solution for Baltimore. He would step in during key moments, particularly on third downs and in the red zone, where his experience makes a difference. Additionally, having a veteran presence like him in the locker room would help maintain the team's winning mentality. But if the Ravens are looking for a slightly younger player with more durability over an entire season, there's another intriguing option in the market. Tyler Conklin, a reliable and underrated tight end, could offer consistency without putting a strain on the team's budget. Sometimes, consistent players go unnoticed because they don't have the biggest name in the league. That's exactly the case with Tyler Conklin. Over the past 4 years, he's been one of the NFL's most reliable tight ends, whether with the Vikings or the Jets. He may not be a star, but he puts up solid numbers and gets the job done without drawing much attention. With 231 receptions, 2,215 yards, and 11 touchdowns over that span, Conklin has proven he can be a dependable target for any quarterback and would be an interesting option for the Ravens if Andrews leaves. What makes Conklin an attractive choice is his versatility. He's a tight end who contributes both in the passing game and in pass protection, something Baltimore highly value. Plus, he has sure hands and frequently converts third down, which is crucial for keeping offensive drives alive. If the Ravens want a player who won't need much time to adapt and can take on a significant role from day one, Conklin is definitely worth considering. Another major plus is his cost. Unlike a veteran like Ertz, who might be nearing retirement, Conklin still has several good years left and wouldn't require a hefty contract. He would come in to share responsibilities with Likely and keep the tight end position strong without drastically altering the offensive scheme. For a team that has always valued productive tight ends, this would be a safe and efficient choice. But if the Ravens prefer to bring in a familiar face, there's a potential move that could bring a sense of deja vu to the fan. Former Ravens tight end Hayden Hurst is available on the market and could be an interesting option for a return to Baltimore. Alright, we're past the halfway point of this video, but I just realized you haven't left a like yet. That's really important for YouTube to keep showing you my content, so I can keep bringing you the latest updates on the Ravens. So go ahead and smash that like button. It's free, alright? Now, let's keep going. Hayden Hurst has worn a Ravens jersey before, and for a while, it seemed like he would be the future of the position. Drafted in the first round of the 2018 draft, he eventually lost his spot to Mark Andrews and was traded to the Falcons in 2020. Since then, he's played for several teams, including the Bengals, Panthers, and Chargers, but has never found a place to truly settle in. Now, as a free agent, a return to Baltimore could make sense for both sides. Hurst has talent and has proven he can be a productive tight end. His best season was in 2020, when he recorded 56 receptions, 571 yards, and 6 touchdowns with the Falcons. In 2022 with the Bengals, he had another solid year with 52 receptions and 414 yards. He's a physical player, knows how to block well, and has enough experience to contribute immediately. The big issue, however, is injuries. In recent years, Hurst has dealt with several injuries, including a serious concussion that resulted in post-traumatic amnesia and a hip issue that affected his 2024 season. If he's healthy and willing to accept an affordable contract, Hurst could be a viable option for the Ravens. He already knows part of the system, has chemistry with the team, and could share responsibilities with Likely without needing to carry the offense on his own. Additionally, a return to Baltimore could be the chance to revive his career in an environment where he's had success before. But if the Ravens want to invest in the future and look for a younger tight end instead of relying on veterans, the draft may be the better alternative. A name that stands out as a potential target for Baltimore is Terrence Ferguson, a promising tight end from the University of Oregon. If the Ravens decide to invest in the future of the tight end position, Terrence Ferguson could be a name to watch. He fits the profile that Baltimore tends to value: big, athletic, and productive. Standing at 6 feet 5 inches and 255 pounds, Ferguson stood out at the University of Oregon for his receiving ability and his physical presence on the field. His production grew each season, and he proved to be a reliable target on third downs and in the red zone, something essential for any tight end playing for the Ravens. The advantage of targeting a player in the draft is clear: low cost and potential for development. Unlike a veteran who has already reached his peak, Ferguson would come in with room to grow and learn within the Ravens' offensive system. He could start as a complement to Likely, gaining experience without the pressure of taking on a primary role right away. Furthermore, Baltimore has a strong track record of developing tight ends, and Ferguson could be the next in line for that tradition. The challenge, however, is that selecting a tight end in the draft comes with risks. Not every college player successfully transitions to the NFL, and Ferguson would still need to prove himself as a blocker, which is essential for the Ravens scheme. But if the front office sees potential in him similar to players like Likely and Andrews, it could be a risk worth taking. Regardless of the path the Ravens take, losing Mark Andrews would be a massive change for the team. Whether it's with a veteran, a familiar name, or a draft gamble, Baltimore will need to ensure that the tight end position remains one of the strengths of the offense. If the Ravens truly part ways with Mark Andrews, the team will need to act wisely to avoid weakening the offense. There are options in the market and the draft, but none of them guarantee the immediate impact that Andrews brings on the field. The question is Baltimore ready for this change? Or is the best course still to find a way to keep their top tight end? What do you think the Ravens should do in this situation? Drop your comment below. I'd love to hear your opinion. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates about the Ravens.